It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. On a sick one. On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one. On a sick one. And we are back with the 8th episode of the Onasickone podcast. And I don't know, man, what it is about the way I feel right now, but I am so pumped up. Can you feel the energy in the room right now, Tony?
Yeah.
Full-time, never part-time Tony is here, my co-host. Make some noise for full-time Tony real quick. It's always a pleasure to have Tone. Tone's always flying out from Vegas. He's always here for me. And I just wanted to say real quick, I appreciate you.
Cheers, buddy.
I appreciate you. Cheers. Cheers. We're here at Lifestyle Studios. Shout out to them as well. Appreciate them for always allowing us to come through here and have a good time. With that being said, let's just talk about something right off the jump. We have a guest today that, I don't know if you can see it through my shirt, through my Misguided tank top, but my nips are hard, dude. I am stoked. I am on another level of happiness. Cannot believe this guy is here. The introduction, I'm sorry, is so high, but that's what it should be. He deserves it. So I want to welcome to our show, The Joe Show, the Onasickone podcast, episode 8. Please make some fucking noise and get loud for my boy from Chicago, Brian636. Wow.
Hi.
Wow. Such a pleasure. Just want to dive into it right off the jump. Just want to talk about it. How was your travel here? What was that? Was it good? Was everything solid? Because we flew him Southwest. So typically Southwest, Southwest.
It's an average flight.
You think Southweezy's got it dialed. So how was that experience for you, Brian? First of all, thank you. Welcome to Reno. Love you.
Thank you for having me here. Really honored. It was definitely choppy. We were fighting to make the ride. I mean, we barely made it. I'm pretty sure they waited 2 extra hours for us. They just delayed it, and then they wouldn't let us take off of the runway because they had I guess with Southwest, you have to choose your seat or whatever. It's not assigned seating.
Right.
And they had a plus size customer that was refusing to buy a second seat. And the lady next to him was making a commotion about it. And I don't know, dude was I'm not taking off of this plane if you make me buy another seat or whatever. And, we pulled back into the gate and dude got off. So that really screwed things up. And then they lost my bag because of that. So we changed gates.
Losing the bag with Brian when he landed in Reno finally. We go to the carousel. We're waiting for his bag. I'm like, what color is it? He's like, orange and black. Boom. Right out of the thing, it rolls in a bag, and it's gray and black. I'm like, there it is right there. And he looks at it. He's like, I don't think that's it. I'm like, are you sure it's gray and black? And it's a Coleman bag. He's like, yeah, it's not a Coleman. So we sit by the carousel. It's going round and round and round. And sure enough, dude, his bag never comes. I'm like, what was in there? Was it really important? And he was like,
yeah, a lot of cameras and computers and definitely important things. Yeah, it was really stressful, to be honest, because a lot of that I had all my lean back, or I guess I have it now since we have it back. I had all my lean back footage and footage that I just couldn't get back if it was to be lost, regardless of replacing the items.
Yes.
Whatever, monetary value, there's sentimental.
They called me because I booked the flight, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna give you credit because I was like, yo, this is
cool.
I was like, yo, this.
We need that motherfucking credit.
Yeah, because I pressed
I'm
them about
buying
it.
2 seats with it.
Because we got it that. Because we can.
Because I'm a wide load.
He's a big schlurk. Let's be real. So that's awesome. It worked out, though. His bag ended up getting flown out that same night that he got here. We went and swooped it up. So it all worked out. If anything, it's kind of cool because now we're going to get you this credit and fucking you can go on a sick one somewhere else. So it's vibey, it's fun. So with that being said, I also always dive in with guests that come out because I brought him out here on a Wednesday. We brought him out here on a Wednesday because Wednesday night, trucky bike night, and then comedy show. So first off, we got to start with the first night you got here. Trucky bike night. Shout out to Tahoe Motorcycle Connection. Shout out to all the folks up there in Truckee, the Renaultians that go up there. Shout out to my boy Jay Brew. We love you, dude. It was great to have you back. What was that like for you riding 636 through the trees? Because a lot of times you're in the city.
Yeah, I definitely go city to city, and to be out in the country like that, I don't get to do it very often, and even more so, I don't get to do it on a stock 636 what you blessed me with introducing me to Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just not something I do on the regular. So it was super cool to like get to stunt in a more not urban area.
Correct.
You want to call it? Yeah.
Super sick. He's on a stock. Shout out to Ralph. Shout out to Nick Moto. Plugging that in. Shout out to Chris. You guys all know who you are. We love to provide bikes for homies when they fly out here and they hang out with us. And we really hooked it up with this one with Ralph. 0304 636. Under 10K miles on it. Completely stock. She's just,
stock.
dude, she's so pretty.
Whale tail
Still on it. But watching him, he's just both hands off, just idle wheeling through the trees. And I'm just like, this is sick. This is sick. So Tahoe Motorcycle Connection, the Truckee Bike Night was phenomenal. I want to dive in real quick too. We had another Joe show last night. We had another Joe Comedy Presents comedy show. We had a great headliner, Mr. Jonah Zalay. He slayed. The locals came through and slayed. I was super stoked to be able to put people up. I love taking care of Reno locals. That's like my thing. So, Brian, how many comedy shows have you been to?
That was definitely my first one.
What?
Ever.
We popped your comedy show. Dude, we've been doing that with a lot of the homies.
Yeah, that was really cool. Super cool.
Do guys that ride bikes don't go to comedy shows?
I guess not.
They don't like to laugh, I guess. I don't know.
It means a lot to me to be able to pop your little comedy chair.
Yeah.
With that being said, give me some positive feedback, then maybe give me a little bit of negative feedback.
Okay.
But be careful because I'm a big sensitive motherfucker.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I think just like first, like right off the top, like it amazes me how much like, you know, you always hear this saying like friends support friends and whatever. Like your friends here just back you no matter what. Like they came, they don't bitch about the cover. They come, they enjoy it. I think they genuinely have fun. And that's something that's so important, not just in motorcycle riding or comedy or whatever, but just it's a life lesson that I think you guys definitely got down here. So that was really cool to see, like a bunch of riders in the building to come and support you. And yeah, all the comedians were really funny. Obviously, I like yours the best. It's just I don't know if it's because I know you or whatever, but the headliner was cool and stuff too. And the dude who brought his dad, I forgot what his name was.
Maurice Payne. Shout out to
They
Maurice.
were really cool. Awesome. Yeah, just your like intermissions was really funny. And then when you got up and sang karaoke, like at like 2 a.m, when it was like just us in there with like, you know, a couple really weird looking people. Like that was cool.
Did I do good doing karaoke?
Yeah, you killed it. I don't know how the fuck you did it, but yeah.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
Full time, got to give you an opportunity to dive in on what you thought about last night's comedy show. Now, with that being said, real quick before you go, because I'm a little nervous about your reaction. If you listen to the podcast, full time, never part time, Tony keeps it real. Also, what Brian just said means so much to my heart because he also keeps it extremely real. And if he thought the comedy show sucked, was whack, lame, or stupid, he'd have just told me that. He wouldn't have juiced me up, put air in my head, and made my head even bigger than it is. So, full time, be careful. You know how my heart is. Give me a rundown of last night. How do you feel? How we doing?
Honestly, I thought the show was great. Like I thought it was a really, really good show. And honestly, that opening set you did was probably the best 8-10 minutes I've ever seen you do.
What? You've seen me do a lot of stand-up. Honestly.
I don't know if you just were like had been working on that, or you knew like Brian was gonna be here, so you're trying to impress him. I don't know what happened, but it was like you brought out jokes I've never heard before.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing I like is that you used some previous setups and you kind of changed up the punchline or changed up the story a little bit to clean them up a little bit, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like sharpening your sword when it comes to the jokes.
Thank you. Wow. Did you hear what he said? Sick.
My guy's gassed up.
We're getting better. It's progression. It's just like a stunt rider. You know, you want to get better at stunt riding, take your ass to law, go practice. I'm practicing my craft. I'm not a stunt rider. I'm Joe Kinda Stunts, Joe Comedy Stunts. Shout out to Junkyard Kenny for giving me that name, but I'm not gonna run it. But it's just like anything, man. You put in the work, you put in the practice, and you get better at it. And to be honest with you, it's really challenging for me because, like you said, 50% of the crowd there last night, and it was pretty packed out. 50% of the people are people that come to my comedy shows a lot. We always bring in new headliners, which changes it up, keeps it funky, keeps it fresh. So regardless if they've seen me or not or whatever, they're supporting me, they're always getting entertained by somebody from LA or Texas or whatever, something sick. For me, though, my friends are constantly expecting something new. And it is very hard because most comedians, especially at the level I'm at, 4 or 5 years deep, you perfect a half hour as your goal in life is to get a 30-minute set, and that's all you do, and you just try to perfect it. Whereas I'm trying to do different get out there, you know what I mean? Yeah. So thank you, appreciate that. We're gonna keep this mother train rolling because Tony just made me feel really fucking good.
Can I ask a quick question?
Shoot.
To both you guys, why the fuck are you guys wearing masks?
I'm gonna let Brian636 answer that motherfucking question. Brian, answer this question.
So when Joe hit me up to do this podcast, obviously that was one of the first things he asked, your face. And I was like, yeah. Other podcasts, they've either put like an emoji over me. I've worn my helmet. They've blurred my face. I think this is my first one where I've worn a mask.
On a sick one.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm going to wear a mask with you to make you feel comfortable, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't got to, but Joe, this is what he lives for is this type of stuff. But I just don't show my face, man. It's more of a tradition at this point than anything else. Like, I just have never like publicly came out and shown my face. Guys that ride with me, guys that have met me, guys that have known me for years at this point are probably like, man, this is fucking stupid. Like, why are you still trying to hide your face from us? But like,
elaborate a little more on it though, because I feel like it goes a little farther than that.
Yeah.
And so kind of dive a little deeper in on that because I think it's gangster. And what's sick for me is CJ Barham, shout out Siege. He introduced you and I to each other.
He did.
We were in Texas and I met you. And I knew who Brian636 was, but when I saw you and met you, I had no fucking clue that was you. And so I was like, first of all, I felt pretty fucking, I was excited to get tapped in with you and hang out as friends. We had great barbecue out in Texas and shit, but it's a little more elaborate than that. And so explain a little bit more about that because I think it's smart to be completely real with you.
Okay. Yeah. So there's like really at the end of the day, I think there's like 3 main reasons that I do it. The first, and I think the reason that it really started from was legality. What we do is inherently illegal. I think 95, probably 99% of law enforcement agencies do not see it as a serious crime. It's not a big deal, blah, 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 blah. But there is that 1% chance that I go to, I don't know, Sarasota, Florida, and I run into the wrong cop, and he sees me pop a wheelie, and boom, we got his face on camera, or we got his tattoos on camera, or whatever, and he is just dead set on getting me, or whatever. It happens, It happens. And at the end of the day, what we do in some cases, whether it's like reckless endangerment or fleeing and eluding, like in some cases, those are felony offenses, man. So that's kind of the first reason, although I do believe that most police respect us and see this as a very victimless crime. This is a petty offense. This is not a big deal. So that reason is kind of falling back. The second, I really, really, really like to have that anonymous, like when I go into a bar, like after an after party or something, and people don't recognize the bike that I was riding or like the wheelies I was doing, then they don't recognize me. I like my bike.
Incognito guy.
Yeah, I like my bike being more known than myself.
Dope.
I can go out in the hood with my chick and just, go have a nice meal or whatever and not be like, man, I wonder if this person knows if he's seen my videos or whatever. And then, it's become more of a tradition at this point.
I think it's fucking rad.
It's just a tradition.
Funny story. Last night, I do the door at the comedy show, and
Tony's running the door.
And so, I'm pretty I'm pretty straightforward. Like, I don't, I have no problem asking people for money. And Brian walks up, and Brian is not the typical stunt rider. Like, you don't look like the typical stunt rider. And I hope you don't take that the wrong way. Like, it's like you're like every cat that Joe's brought does not look like you in the sense like they have like dreads or long beards or they're like fully tatted head to toe and just the way you carry yourself too, right? Like you don't seem as rowdy as you actually are. You know what I'm saying?
Incognito as fuck.
So it's like, and so I was like, yeah, bro, it's $20 to get in. And you just like didn't even like skip it. All right, yeah. And Joe's like, whoa, the fucking.
I wanted to pay.
Yeah, there's no way we're gonna let you
Joe
pay.
and the bar owner stepped in really quick.
Yeah, no, I almost fought Brian for trying to pay. That's how bad. I don't know. I felt like it was worth it, bless him up. But watching that situation happen, I go, hey, fucker. I was like, that's Brian636. And he goes, oh, my bad, dude. Go ahead. You're good. Very funny. But yeah, that's how Incognito does. Because Tony does his research. He looks shit up, before we do podcasts, and he does his homework. So that's how well it's working.
And that's what I like. I don't like special treatment, man.
Oh, dude,
I really
awesome.
don't.
It's awesome.
I like being
Joe
just
loves
treated
special
like a regular
treatment.
person.
You think I love special treatment?
Yeah, dude. I love special treatment too.
I think dude, to get flown out somewhere to do shows or do anything, I'll fly in the bottom of the fucking plane. I'll sleep in a tent. So I don't know if I like special treatment. I will say I do enjoy when I'm traveling, doing stunt shows, emceeing with different cats or like doing shit. And it's sick when somebody's like, Joe Comedy, dude, what's up? Or like knows my baby, David Dean Doug.
Yeah.
Shout out to my son. That's a good feeling. It's cool. It really is. It's dope. But at the end of the day, I don't think I like special treatment, and I don't really like the way that you fucking made me feel about that, dude. So
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Special treatment's cool.
Yeah, and being like noticed is dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, recognition for your efforts is dope.
Brian is a special person who doesn't like being like known. You know what I'm saying? Or being like out and about and being like seen. Which is cool. Like I respect that, man. Like,
so do I. Definitely 100%. One of the coolest things about Brian that I learned right off the jump was I served our country. I was in the Navy. Crazy experience in my life. I was young and I did it, and a lot of people will thank you for it and make you feel all good about it. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I remember that was like one of the original ways that we first connected.
Kind of connected.
You asked something about one of my tattoos, or it was maybe my memorial bracelet. Or
yeah,
it was something like that.
Something sick.
Yeah, and we made that connection pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So being a veteran, dude, just like hats off to you. Thank you so much. Like,
thank you.
How do you feel like that experience?
No, thank you both.
Oh, dude.
Thank you both.
Love Tony. If you're listening to this podcast right now, or you're watching it and you served our country, thank you so much. If you're young and you're thinking about joining it, send me a DM. I will let you know my true and honest opinion about that. I think for each and every person, it's different. I think that we live in the greatest country in the world, but I think that we live in one of the most fucked up countries in the world. And it's unfortunate. But your experience, would you run it back? Would you do it again? And how do you think that experience in your life kind of molded you going forward in your life after you had gotten out of the military?
Yeah, wow, loaded question.
Sorry.
But yeah, I'll break it down. So from would you do it again?
Yeah.
The almost 30-year-old me says right here, right now, I would not. Would 17-year-old Brian out of high school do it again? Absolutely.
100%.
I think that it was one of the better life lessons, or I wouldn't even call it a lesson, like life experiences that I had. It molded me into like, I feel like who I am today. Like leading a weekly ride for me now is like not a big deal at all. Cause like when you're an NCO in the Marines or whatever, like you're in charge of like 20 grown men and all their equipment and everything that they do like 24 hours a day. Like if one of them loses a pair of night vision goggles or something, they're fucked. Like that's like $20,000-$30,000 equipment. So, and your ass is on the line. So for me to be in the position now, to lead a ride or two, it's like it put a lot of things into perspective and definitely put responsibility into my age pretty young.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now my body couldn't take it. I aged a lot. I definitely I feel it in my body. I don't know what's been harder on my body, stunt riding or the military. I don't know, but
well, you look fucking good, my boy.
You do look good. I told Joe you look like a baseball player.
A baseball player?
Yeah, like you
dude,
you play
the
in the
chicks
league.
were gawking. They're like, I had so many chicks come up to me last night. I'm not gonna lie. They're like, who's that babe? I was like, I felt like I was your girlfriend at the time. I was like, that's Brian. Stay the fuck away from me. Stupid bitch. Like I really was. I was like, get the fuck out of town. Some of the cuter ones, I was like, honestly, he's involved. So unfortunately, I can't introduce you to him. But in my mind, I'm just like, I want you so bad. Thank you for your service, though. Really appreciate that. You talking about leading a weekly ride. Okay.
Right.
That's dope. Weekly rides are awesome. If you're thinking about throwing a weekly ride where you live with homies, whether it's a mini ride on Mondays or whether it's a trucky bike night on Wednesdays or whatever you're thinking. I think it's a great idea. I've talked to a lot of cats about doing it, and I push it. I think it's awesome. I think more and more kids are buying bikes, and I love that. It's good for the scene. It's good for all of us. But throwing a weekly ride is not just what Brian does. And if you know fucking anything, if you haven't been living under a fucking rock your whole life, and you have any clue about anything in the stunt scene in the world, you know that one of the biggest rides in the world, ride outs, is a ride that's hosted by my boy, who I respect highly, just based on the organization and the way that he's able to develop it. And the 6th annual Lean Back in Chiraq just happened about a month ago.
Yep.
Fucking great fucking job, dude. So stoked for you. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. Joe Comedy wanted to pull up out there. That ride is a little intimidating, my boy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've done Mexico. I've done LA. You know, I've done these ride outs in different places. It's fucking so much fun. But that one's intense. How did Lean Back start? And what is, how crazy is it to you to see where it's at now? Like, come on, dude. It's gotta fucking mind blow you. So give me some Lean Back and Chiraq feedback.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely the most intense ride of the year, especially for me, because I can't split off from one of those rides early. And it's definitely, especially if you even make half of the rides, it's the most amount of riding that you will do all year, hands down. And that's only making half the rides. So me and Elijah Marshall, shout out to
Love you,
dude.
Elijah.
Yeah, that's my homie.
I fucking love you, dog.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Fuck you, I'm gonna nut. Sorry.
We had just gotten back from I think it was our first or second ROC. And on our way back, we're going up Interstate 55, and we're just like, man, like, it would be so cool to like do. ROC was like 3 full days of riding,
Yeah.
What if we did multiple days, like into the week of riding? Yeah, because at the time, Chicago's only stunt ride was Doomsday, which is a 1-day event. It's a costume ride. It's a massive ride. Shout out to Cowboy too, one of my OGs. Definitely, dude, I learned a lot from. But it's a 1-day event. It's a costume ride. I don't even think there's not even a gas stop. So it's just a meetup spot around the city, back to the meetup spot, and was always like the legendary Chicago ride. And Elijah and I just wanted to ride more than that, and I think that feeling resonated with a lot of the younger stunters, that we wanted to ride more than just one tank of gas. If guys are coming from 20, 30 hours, now we got guys coming from Canada, Tijuana. There's guys coming from all over the world to come and ride in Chicago for Lean Back. So, it's just a week straight of riding. On Thursday, we ride from sun up to sundown, which is just absolutely insane. Into Friday, like, we ride a minimum of 5 to 6 hours a day. And then, the longer day is a full 12 hours, 13 hours. And the fatigue starts to set in. It definitely claims a lot of bodies, a lot of accidents because of the fatigue, the tiredness. Chicago's potholes are no joke. Anyone who's been there knows that there's full-on jumps in the freeway. I swear to God, there's jumps in the freeway. So if you think you're going to come there and scrape a fucking 100-foot, 200-foot long scrape down the freeway without predicting and reading that highway in front of you, you're going to go flying. So every year, some really gnarly wrecks. But this year we didn't make the news. And no one got arrested, and no one died. So that's, as long as you can put check marks in those, there's always going to be wrecks. But as long as no one dies, no one gets arrested. And
that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you think? How many bikes do you think you had out there throughout the week? Total?
Probably 1,500 to 2,000. Yeah. I mean, we had to, it was midway through the week. I think it was like Thursday that I got a call from the guys at the main hotels, which is, 2 or 3 hotels all in the same area, same side of town. If you've been, you know. It's full. Like, they can't take any more. If you're not staying here, they're serving like city citations on your vans if you don't show them proof that you have a room there, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up having to like push them to other hotels, dudes to Airbnbs that were way overpriced, because it's the same weekend as Lollapalooza, which is like Chicago's Coachella. Yeah. It's really big.
Damn, you guys do it the same weekend as Lollapalooza every year?
We do.
Is there a reason why you do it that same weekend? Sorry, I don't.
Yeah, there is. It's the weekend before Sturgis. It's the weekend of Lollapalooza. So The police's priorities are even more so in line to not worry about traffic offenses. And on top of that, I 100% respect the police in the city, and I keep the riders to the best of my abilities, Elijah's abilities, everyone at 2-6 abilities. Everybody, shout out to all these guys, man. Tippin, 2-6, Anton, Justin, Eli, every single one of these dudes. Chicago United that helps to lead these guys, put them up in their houses, recover their bikes, get guys to the hospital. Like, all that stuff is real. And more so, we keep them out of downtown, or we do our absolute best to keep them out of downtown. Yeah, it's what's making the city money. It's where the cops and city's interest is. So why would we go and try to stir up the bee's nest, as they would say, you know? So I really try to do my best and keep them out of there, besides like the times that we just pass through so they can get a look at the city scenery. But are we stopping there and doing burnouts in front of Lollapalooza? And like, no, that's just, you're poking the cat, you know? And we're the mice.
Bear.
Yeah,
it's a fucking grizzly bear, and you're poking the fuck out of it.
Do you have a goal to ever like potentially work with Lollapalooza, like to maybe incorporate like what you're doing with what they're doing?
I don't think so.
Would you? Would if they like even offered? Would you be like?
I know that they're aware of me.
Oh, okay.
I know that they're aware of me. I've been told that. Some of the riders, actually, I'm not even going to name names. They work for some of the promoters. That I know guys that set up Lollapalooza, and some of the head guys know and acknowledge that lean back is going on, and they respect it. They don't have a problem with it, but I guarantee if I brought that pack through downtown Chicago, right through Lollapalooza, that would be a huge problem. And that would be a huge slap you in the face to Lollapalooza, the city, the taxpayers. So I really just want to try to alleviate that stress as much as possible and keep them in places that have less people. And, you know.
Yeah, I just know how big the scene is becoming. So, I think as a Lollapalooza is like a arts, music, culture festival, right? Like that's a part of the Chicago culture.
I think what's dope is just the fact that they're both happening at the same time. So the city
which
of
is
Chicago
crazy.
during Lean Back and Chiraq is fucking cracking. Hotels are making money. Restaurants are making money. You know, the boys are out there. We're doing rides. Shit's getting weird. But it's honestly, it's incredible, dude. And I applaud you for that. So much love and respect for you for doing that for the scene. And not to mention 15 to 2,000 bikes. But the amount of slayers, the amount of killers, the amount of savages, sport bikes, Harleys, you name it, like the attention that it draws from the dopest dudes in the world on motorcycles is incredible. And to get everybody together like that is hands down my favorite part of the scene in its entirety. Obviously, I love riding. But dude, when you go to a ride out and you see, and I'm very blessed and fortunate to be able to hang out with the dopest dudes in the scene and in the country and in the world. But when you get all these psychos together, dude, it is a good fucking time. You are having fun from the moment you are on your way there and from the moment you go back to work on fucking Monday, and the whole time you're just still on the high and you ride that wave all the way into the next weekend. Yeah. And dude, next year I will not fucking miss it. Mark my words. I will be at Lean Back in Chiraq, 2023. How you doing?
I might have to come.
Tell me, we gotta get you on a motherfucking bike soon.
Yeah.
Facts.
That sounds lit.
You can jump in and out of Lollapalooza. I know multiple riders that were jumping in and out of Lollapalooza that are going to the same restaurants.
Fire.
And the riders' money is same as the concert
Think
goes.
about
It's
this.
all green.
You could go there and just go to Lollapalooza and enjoy yourself, and then meet up with us at night. And come
Maybe
hang out.
we bring Jay and we do remote podcasts.
Yeah. That'd be fucking incredible. That would be fucking incredible. Shout out to the team effort of all the boys. What did you call it? You called the team in Chicago. Wait, you had a sick name for it just now.
I just call them like
you guys are like the fucking Power Rangers of Chicago.
The senior stunt riders. Let's just call them that. There's the senior guys, and when I say that, I mean guys that have been riding for more than 4 or 5 years, stunt riding, and even more so, they hold a character trait that's really important.
Yes.
That they care about the longevity of our sport, they care about the longevity of our city. So I think that and they respect Lean Back, and they know what it means to out of towners and to the young guys. So, and they want to see it keep growing. So those senior stunt riders, like, dude, it is not even close to a one-man operation. Like, there's so many guys, like that pack gets split up so many times for so many different things. And to know the streets and to link back up and to put
And it's
these,
Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to get separated from the pack.
No.
In Chicago.
Especially
I got separated from a pack in LA, and I met up with Jesse Ryan, and thank God he was there because I was tripping, bro.
Right.
I really was. I was like, yo, this sucks. So imagine being in Chicago. So, dude, shout out to the team effort. Shout out to Lean Back and Chiraq. If you're thinking about going next year, get your shit, pack it, plan it, and get your ass down there. Go support Brian. Go support the motherfucking Lean Back and Chiraq. With that being said, if you're looking at my pecs right now, I understand why. If you're watching this on YouTube. Because this shirt's a little tight right now, my boy. And that's okay because I got blessed today with a piece of merch from my boy Brian636, and it is Misguided. And I would like to think that today we were at lunch, and my wife came with my baby, and Brian was there, and we're having lunch.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to Boley's.
It was so good.
It was fire.
really good.
I put him on game with the fucking funky chicken.
I've had some really
He
good
loved
food
it.
here so far.
Okay, cool.
So a comment got made today though that for a second I was like, is that good or bad? And the comment is that, Joe, you live a double life. And my response to that was, yeah, I agree, but my double life includes my family in both of them. And then Brian said, which one do you like better? And that double life is, I do have a phenomenal job. I do go to work. I do work a 9 to 5. And then on the other side of things, I am completely Onasickone. I have a podcast. I do stand-up comedy. I travel the country doing stunt shows. I go to ride-outs. I ride my Harley every day. We're rowdy. We're sick. We're nuts. And that double life thing is one of those things where I feel like I'm guided and I feel like I'm misguided. But there's no other way that I'd want it to be than to have that. And my goal ultimately is to completely live like you, my boy, with a completely misguided lifestyle, because that's one thing that I respect about certain people in the scene in the stunt community is that homies got brands, they have shops, they have, these different things going on, and it's so respectable because they wake up every day and that's their life. That's everything for you. So Misguided, what's up? How we doing? Give me a little bit of fucking Misguided. Misguide me on Misguided, but guide me on the right path to why Misguided is so misguided. Oh, fuck. Mind fuck.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, like, you tell an 18-year-old, 19-year-old guy tells their mom, like, I'm going to drop out of college, start a clothing brand or ride wheelies for a living, or I'll just, like, I'm going to figure it out. Like, that is definitely not the path most traveled. That's definitely the misguided path. I don't know. Like,
Heavy.
it's just something that resonated with me, just the word. I think our old battalion commander, like, man, years ago, called us Uncle Sam's misguided bastards or something like that.
Fuck, that's
in like
fire.
one of his speeches or something. And I was like, man, like, shit. I kind of resonate with that because I never wanted, as typical as it is, like, I never wanted to go to a 9 to 5. I never wanted to really, even when I did work for somebody for a couple of years, like, I didn't feel like this, like, purpose. I don't know. It was weird, but it didn't resonate with me. So, yeah, when I told my mom what I was going to do and drop out of college and whatnot, like, she definitely was worried at first. And, now she's so proud.
Mom's
Like,
proud.
Yeah, she's proud. As
Shout
hell.
out to Brian's mother.
It's really cool.
What were you studying?
I was a physical education major.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was actually, bro, I was like 3 months, maybe 4 months away from graduating. I was student teaching at the time. Like,
No shit.
yeah, I was already like, I was in the home stretch. And I had realized, like, after talking to the teacher that I was student teaching for, he's an older guy. And it kind of came out that, he's retiring and that I'm most likely, I'm going to apply for this now. And it's kind of a foot in the door, and you're most likely going to get that job.
Yeah.
And that's when most teachers go into their current positions, is normally around or at the school that they're student teaching at, whatever. And I asked, can I take a break? I wanted a couple of years because, like, YouTube was starting to grow. I was really falling in love with traveling for stunt riding because I had rode and stuff, but the traveling and stunt riding was just starting to really, like, set my heart on fire. And when I figured out, and he was like, no, you're gonna come here, like, in a couple months and hopefully take my job, right? And I'm like, man, I just didn't want to. It was like a real big reality check. And I worked my ass off to get like through kinesiology and just through like so many hard classes like around.
You said you had 3 months left of school?
Yeah. I was in the,
That's
it was
it?
a quarter. So it was on the quarter system.
Shit.
So I think it was like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So like not like you like literally like 15 credits, probably like 15.
Yeah, it was like nothing. It was close to nothing. I think I was enrolled in like 5 classes, and student teaching was one of them. And I had like a blow off one. I think I was like in like a video editing class, which even more so was like setting me into the other path. Cause like in my video editing class, like I was showing like some of my first moto vlogs ever to like my professor and posting them on my YouTube channel after I turned them in as projects. And he was like, dude, is this actually you? Like, this is nuts. Like, what you're doing is nuts.
Fucking
the video
awesome.
editing's cool, but like what you're doing on these bikes is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. With all that being said, do you think that you could do what I'm doing with what you do? Do you think you could have been the physical education teacher and still went on a sick one and lived that double life?
That's a great question.
No.
No way. Not the way you do it, my boy.
I
No
couldn't.
fucking way.
No way. No, I just can't, man. Like, even right now, like, to say I'm busy is like, it's an understatement. Like, I feel like
It's so great to have you here.
yeah, there's not a day, like, you see it, like, if I'm at home and like or if I'm at your crib and I have any free time, like, I'm editing, I'm helping Justin like run the shop, like I'm working on the online store. Like, there's so much stuff to be done, and I'm trying to like talk to sponsors for YouTube videos, and it's just like, it is nonstop. And then to add even more of a wrench in the mix, I still work on all my own stuff like bikes and vans, and definitely I'm not easy on any of them.
You're pretty mechanically inclined?
I'd like to say so, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, definitely.
That's gangster.
That's
So,
super
you
dope.
work on your own shit. That's
Yeah.
another whole
There's
skill
been a couple
set.
times that I've had like a couple of little helps, like for like a valve adjustment. I had
It's
I had
not
my
easy to
homie-
work on the foreign bikes like
yeah,
that.
but I definitely do. Like, I've changed my own cam chains, gaskets. Like, I break down those motors like by myself now.
Dope.
So
That's fire. My brain is going 10,000 miles an hour right now. Sitting with me, and I can't. If you're watching this on YouTube, you obviously are seeing what fucking Brian has on right now, and I can't take him seriously, but I'm trying so hard. I want to. Do you have any questions based on what we just talked about, Tony?
Yeah, I just wanted to. Can you mind if we just do like a quick timeline? Like, okay, so
yeah,
you
absolutely.
So when did you start like stunt riding and like when did you start getting into that, like start stunt riding? And then you joined the military at some point, and then also went to college, and then in that some point you had started a YouTube page, which then like
At 14.
It's a little bit jumbled. So all those
Okay.
are a little bit jumbled.
got it. So if you want to mind just like running that down,
absolutely.
that'd be great.
When I was in middle school, I got my first pocket bike, which were like these Chinese mini
little
bikes.
mini bangers,
Yep, absolutely.
How old
street-
are you? If you don't mind me asking.
Close to 30. Yeah,
Okay.
almost 30.
Okay, cool. So
You're not 30. Don't say you're
No,
close
clo-
to 30 when you're
we're
not.
around- we're around this- we're around the same
You're
age,
right
yeah.
around somewhere in there, but he's still a young guy.
Okay, because I for some like I had a pocket bike.
By the way, I'm 30. I'm not 39. I know some motherfuckers out there thinking I'm old as fuck. I'm not. Go ahead.
So yeah, I got my first pocket bike when I was in middle school, and I just fell in love with it. Like, fell in love with working on it even more so. And then I like started popping wheelies on it, started sanding on the seat, and then at that point there was I don't think there even was GoPros, but I did have my mom's digital camera, which I had started uploading the videos of me onto YouTube. This was 2017, 2008. Like, this was before monetization. This was before this could ever have even dreamed to be a thing.
Early days of YouTube.
Early thing. So yeah, 13, 14 years old, I started that YouTube channel. And whatever, I was just posting. Got my first big bike when I was 15.
What
got
was
it
that?
Ninja 500. Yep. Parallel twin, then to a Gixxer, then to another Gixxer, then another Gixxer, then another Gixxer. Yeah, so I was a Gixxer boy for a minute, but
Brian Jigs.
yeah, pretty much. And yeah, I just kept uploading videos. Kept riding in my high school. Started riding faster, doing some wheelies, whatever. And then I joined the military, got a bike there, started track riding out there on top of.
And they don't like
ripping some
that.
wheelies. They do not.
They do not. The
Absolutely
military does not like you
They do
having a
not
bike.
like you. No, especially our battalion, man. Like, I remember when the BC pulled in all the motorcycle riders in between my first and second deployment, and said, I'm this close to banning motorcycles from this battalion. We had 2 deaths. We had 3 dudes in the hospital. We're talking a battalion of like 800 people, man.
Damn.
So, and they can say, they can tell you like they care about you and this and that, and they might, and some of the best BCs and company commanders actually might care about you, but at the end of the day, the Marine Corps cares about their investment.
You're a piece of property.
Absolutely. And they have millions of dollars worth of training. And when these guys are dying or fucked up in the hospital because they wrecked on a motorcycle during the weekend, like, are you kidding me? Right. Our company commander knew that we were doing meetups. That was like some of the first times that we were like starting meetups, and we would meet up on base and ride out from there. So it was definitely they were close to banning motorcycles. So I got out, and my brother was just pressuring me into getting like a legitimate stunt bike.
Your brother?
Yeah, my little bro.
Blood brother?
Yeah, blood bro.
Shout out.
Pass me.
Dude, so sick. My boy's got a brother.
Yep. Pass me into getting a stunt bike. He's like, just give it a try. So the day I got out of the military, I saved up. I bought a pickup truck in Wisconsin, and then drove straight to Pennsylvania, to Erie, Pennsylvania, and bought the current 636 I'm on today.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. And that motor just R.I.P.
She just
Moment of silence for my baby.
Moment of silence.
She just died a week ago. So moment of silence. We love you.
We love you.
How old was that bike?
So it's a 2003 636, and I got it to 67,000 miles, which is an astronomical.
What he does to it, it's fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it threw a tooth on the camshaft and or on the crankshaft and went out of timing. So
You already have that swapped?
yeah, I swapped it the same night.
I saw you do that, and I was like, this guy's fucked. I was like, he already has it swapped, and
I can't have that thing down, man.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you, to be completely real with you. There are a lot of stunt riders that take care of their own shit, maintain their own shit, and really know what the fuck they're doing. And then there's some, and I'm not gonna name any names, that put the fucking wrench down. Don't touch your fucking bike. Get the fuck out of the way. Let somebody else do that for you. Right. So I think that's dope. I think that's super respectable, to say the least. I want to dive in real quick, Brian. YouTube. We keep like, we're talking about YouTube. YouTube is a very challenging thing to build. I think it speaks volumes that you've gotten 525,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like, that's an accomplishment like a motherfucker. Like, that's dope as fuck. I definitely respect the fuck out of that. 14 years old, starting YouTube, no intention other than you were fucking feeling it, vibing it, liking it, loving it. And, you know, if 14-year-old Brian could see yourself now, I'm sure that you'd just be so stoked on yourself and super proud about it. But there are people that are thinking about starting YouTubes, like myself. We have a Joe YouTube, Joe Comedy 775. If you're not subscribed, fucking figure it out. Brian, you're subscribed.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody. Brian's subscribed.
Yeah, I'm subscribed.
Why haven't you? Figure it out.
I'm subscribed.
I appreciate that. That's sick. But do you have any advice for anybody that's starting YouTube? And I don't give a fuck who's listening. I'm kind of asking you for me. How you doing? And then also, Train Don't Stop, my boy. The YouTube channel. You're so good at it. There's Hood Eats that you do on there, which is incredible. You just went and did one in Reno. So YouTube advice real quick. And then right after the advice, Hood Eats. I want to talk about Hood Eats and your channel in general, and fucking how much fun is that for you, dude?
Yeah, it's insane. 14-year-old me wouldn't believe this shit. Like, 14-year-old me, if I would have told my teachers that you can make money on the internet, period, that would be insane. But obviously I was doing it way before the money was even relevant. I think personally, if you're starting a YouTube channel, it has to be something that you couldn't just do for no pay. Like, it's something that's burning inside you. If you're sitting there and you're having ideas for a video, like, subconsciously, that you definitely like should direct that energy into making them and stop just thinking about them. So if that is you, if you're that kid or you're that man or whatever, and you're subconsciously having those ideas for videos, and you have a vision of what you want to see on the platform, I wouldn't even question it, and I would be uploading it and putting my full energy into it. And now that, you know, platforms are starting to pay creators back for some of the energy that they're putting in, which some platforms are and some aren't. But that's definitely kind of fulfilling that you can now make some income off of doing what you love. So, yeah, definitely psyched on that. And shout out to all the subscribers, like beyond blessed. Beyond blessed.
And that's worldwide subscribe.
It's wild, dude. I got to check out your YouTube page, and it's just like, I mean, it's an accomplishment, man, because it's like you're able to, just have the foresight without even having the foresight, right?
It started with a dream.
Yeah,
we used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. He was hanging pictures on his wall.
Yeah.
Every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Vroom Vroom, Vroom Demal. He let his tape rock till his tape pop. He was smoking weed and bamboo. He was sipping on private stock. Way back when he had the little mini bike.
Right, the pocket bike. Yeah, it's crazy to think how like times have changed in like that 14, 15 years. Like there's GoPros and shit now. Like we used to tape my mom's digital camera.
No,
I swear. Yeah.
that's
We would tape
fire.
my mom's digital camera to mine or my little brother's helmet and try to get him to get as close as we can to like the top speed on one of these or a wheelie or like me standing up on this. And it was like, it's insane how far not only just platforms have come, but technology in general and jobs in the past 15 years. Like the amount of digital and online jobs now, like that's insane.
Homies are playing video games, recording themselves, and putting it out and making fucking racks.
Yeah.
20, 30, 40, 50, 100 grand a month. I'm like, dude, why the fuck am I not burning desire, fire, putting all my energy into my YouTube channel? Because I showed you 2 videos yesterday that I'm super proud of.
Yeah.
I don't even know if one of them I'll ever beat again. Me roller skating in a Gumby outfit downtown Reno to Fleetwood Mac.
Wild video.
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
I have that burning desire that you speak of. However, what's challenging, and I'm sure that some of the people that are listening to this can agree with me on, is that mine differs a little because I have fucking 4 kids. I need to stop fucking a lot. But if I had more, it takes money to make money. It takes money to make a dream a reality, unless you're just filthy talented. I like to think of myself as a talented dude, but you get what you give. Shout out to Hobie. And so I'm putting it in, but I'm also over here doing this. And so consistency is what you did since you were 14 fucking years old. And so in my mind, what I keep telling myself is just like, Joe, just don't stop, dude. The fucking keep throwing coal into the fire. Like, just keep this thing thugging, keep it rolling. If I had more money, videographers deserve to be paid, right? Anybody that has a special skill deserves to be compensated for their time, efforts, energy, right? They've earned that. That's an earning. If I had more money to invest into it, which shout out to Tony, he's helped me so many times. There's been other people that have given me breaks and discounts and this and that. But dude, the constant subconscious every single fucking hour of every day. And even when I'm fucking laying there at night, dude, I cannot stop thinking about all these ideas that I have that I want to put down, that I know that I can. But dude, it's challenging. You know, I got a lot of responsibilities and things. I think that if I was a single guy, and I think that even in the age that I am now, and I was able to really fucking jump into that pool, I think that I could potentially be in a situation like yourself or be an entrepreneur like yourself and not work for anybody and just do Joe. And so I look up to you in that regard with what you're doing, and fucking it's sick. So keep inspiring, my buddy.
It's definitely a risk. It's definitely scary.
Yeah, it's
fucking
it's
terrifying. Yeah.
But that keeps you rolling.
Yeah. It was scary. It was the scariest at first, though. The jump off is the scariest. Like when I stopped going to college and stopped getting that GI Bill, like that was terrifying, because like you have an apartment to pay for and like you got to eat, and it's like the only thing that you have is like your own grind. Like that's fucking scary. So I definitely relate to that, and you definitely have even more to support and lose. So I can't even imagine the anxiety that you feel about that, man. So
my wife supports me. I say again, my wife supports me, and that is an incredible thing. And she's actually pushing me right now to kind of take a little bit of a fucking leap. I've always explained to people that when you're trying to jump ships, or you're trying to go from one position to another, let's say that you're crossing a river and you're standing on a rock, and that rock is your life, and that rock is your job, your house, your security, you know. And before you can jump to this next rock, you got to plant that motherfucker up. She's got to be stable. Otherwise, kerplunk, you're fucking splashing, rolling down the river.
Yep.
my wife is challenging me right now to take a leap to the next rock. I don't think the rock's steady yet. But how do I know the rock's not steady yet?
Steady enough.
You don't really know until you jump over that motherfucking rock. And if you do kerplunk, you better hurry because the one you just dove off of is mad at you. It's about to go bloop, 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 like fucking Mario, and it's about to go away because you took that leap. So I think the reason why I'm explaining this is because I want people to understand that risks are important, but calculated risks are rewarding. And full-time Tony, you helped me out so much on the stand-up side of things and everything else that I have going on in my life. Nick Moto helps me out so much on those other things. So it goes back to what he said earlier, which is it's a team effort. And I have a sick team. And I'm just going to keep being inspired. And I'm not going to fucking stop. I will not quit. So thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm rooting for you. I think everyone is, man.
Fuck.
I mean, your real homies are always going to root for you, right? I mean,
facts.
at the end of the day, like, you'll definitely figure out people's true colors, like, especially when you're in a bind or, like, you know, fuck, I didn't have a comedy show for the past month or whatever, and money's a little tough, or yo, you didn't come and, you know, see my comedy show. You haven't been in over a year or whatever. Like, people just kind of, it is what it is, man. But your homies, like, you would be so surprised how much people will support you. Like, I have guys from high school that, like, don't ride at all. And they watch.
They're wearing Misguided shit, watching football.
Yeah, and they watch my videos just because they're like, yo, I genuinely, like, I have people that genuinely think what we do is bad. And they're like, but I think you're a good dude, and what you stand behind and, like, what some of the subconscious stuff you do in your videos I enjoy. Yeah. But I'll let your videos play when I'm at work and blah, blah, blah. So, no, your homies will support you no matter what, man. And the guys who are secretly, you know, not behind you will definitely show too.
The support is extremely real. I want to make a couple of special shout outs. You know Joe. Joe shouts out a lot.
Joe shouts out, baby.
You know what? Show love. C-Bear, love you, dude. Thank you. CJ, love you. Thank you. Tall Guy, thank you. Love you. Jay Brew, fuck you. Andy, how you doing? East Coastin'. Just named a few people that I really genuinely have a lot of love and respect for, and that have been fucking putting me up, that have been helping me out, that are putting me on. And they're not people that I knew since high school. They're not people that I fucking see and hang out with every day. And that's fucking rewarding, fulfilling, you name it. That's fucking awesome. And dude, that's what this scene does, dude. There's like this crazy bond and love with fucking the love for motorcycles that's just fucking extremely fire. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to you for fucking coming to Reno, fucking flexing on the Freshie 636. We have a ride out tonight, Brian. I think it's gonna be fat. Has Reno not met or exceeded your expectations before you came here? Give me the truth, but talk shit on my city. You know what they say, fuck around and find out, Brian.
Hood Eats was interesting.
Okay.
I mean, seeing that side of town and you guys downtown, I definitely, like, Reno itself has definitely surprised me. I thought, to be honest, like, I don't know why. I just had like this thinking that this was like almost like a Phoenix. Like, there was a lot of tweakers walking around, and, like, this is definitely like a revitalizing city. This is a gentrifying city. There's a city where a lot of money is getting put into. Yeah. I can tell it from the front to the back because it's the polar opposite of a lot of the cities that I do Hood Eats in, like in the Rust Belt, like St. Louis or Chicago or Indianapolis or Gary. Like there's so many cities over there that are just the opposite. The population is not really growing. It's kind of going away, but downtown Reno was, and even the surrounding area was, like, impressive. I was like, holy shit, this infrastructure is nice here. So that is awesome. The riding scene, so far so good. A smaller group of guys that I'm used to riding with. Yeah. But they are definitely all good so far. That definitely just, like, met my expectations, and the beauty when we went out to that lake was amazing. The views out here are second to none. That's awesome. So, yeah, it's definitely a place. I think I mentioned it in my Hood Eats too. I said, you know, there's a place I could see myself living in 5-10 years. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
That fucking that's sick.
Can we quickly talk about hood dates?
Absolutely. I'd love to talk about hoodies. Shout out to Reno, though. I love you. But don't fucking move here. Remember, my son went in the river the other day, came out, he had a fucking needle in his neck.
Really?
No, I just don't want Californians.
Reno's
fucking
fun.
It is
penetrating
beautiful.
our
You
city.
know?
Yeah, it's great. No, it's fucking
Not a lot of traffic. Streets are butter. Gas prices are a full $1 cheaper than when we were in California.
Needles and necks, high fucking swoop rate. You will get thrown in a van. You will get taken out of here. No, dude, I'm trying to protect my city.
I know. I got it.
It's like a fucking diamond in a rough.
It
And
is.
you know what's crazy is I used to defend it so hard. Somebody say something negative about Reno, and I'd be like, oh yeah, motherfucker. You know? And now I'm like, yup, all that. True. It's fucked here. Shit. Nope. Sucks. And unfortunately, it's just growing and growing and going. But dude, the fact that you just said that you might I'm finally leaving. I just want to make an announcement. I'm Brian636, and I'm finally dipping out from Chicago. I'm going to somewhere else. And for that to be even a thought,
Years.
way late.
Years, yeah. But eventually, yeah. I've mentioned that in my vlogs before too.
Dope.
That the long term, I definitely do not see myself living there. I would love it, and I will come visit it, and my heart will always be there. But I think just it is what it is, man. You can only dodge, reality so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got kids or you got anything nice or anything. I mean, there's a reason that people, are leaving there more than, people are moving there. I don't know. I personally feel like you can only see so much crazy shit before you're the one that crazy shit's happening to.
Facts. It worries me. It really does. I grew up outside of Detroit, and I remember as a kid going there. I remember every time I go back and visit, it's just like, man, it's fucking, that's why I said it's intimidating. Because there are great things about it. There are awesome things. But at the same time, it's called lean back and Chiraq for a reason. Do you know why it's RAQ on the end of that motherfucker? Because, why, Tony?
Because Chicago has a lot of murders.
A lot of shootings.
We have more people, or more Americans killed and wounded in Chicago than Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, it's pretty wild because
That's fucking bullshit.
when the same day that the shooting in Vegas happened at the Mandalay Bay, there was more murders in the south side of Chicago that same night. And so
Sad,
it's like wild to think about that.
Think about this, though, Brian. I think you can completely concur with this, and I definitely want to make this a point. Bike life is resolving it. Wheels up, guns down type shit. Do you agree? To an extent?
To an extent, maybe. I mean, it definitely I'll give it this. It gives a certain amount of joy. It definitely gives the kids something to see positive in the streets. Am I going to sit here and act like that this is going to solve violence in inner city? Fuck no. But you know what? During some of these weekly rides, like, am I out on a Mini Monday or a Taco Tuesday or a Wheelie Wednesday, and is there dudes from the south and the west side, or, this dude stays over here and beefs with this dude and are at the same ride together and may or may not fucking pass the blunt to like one of their homies who passes the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it kind of does resolve some of it in a way.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and act like it's like this is an
All I
angel
can ask
sport.
for
It's not.
is for it to be Chiraq and more murders. I don't even know the statistic you just gave me. It makes me want to fucking cry right now. But for that bike night or that Mini Monday or whatever, to do that is fucking incredible. That's making a difference. Small victories, my boy.
Yeah, small things, right?
Small victories.
Yeah, and we do some charity stuff too.
Yeah.
Every year we always do the clothing the homeless ride towards the end of the year. We'll, like, this past year was insane. We had to have had probably $10,000-$20,000 worth of clothes that we handed out. We raised cash money, went out and handed literally just cash out to homeless people, like, because at the end of the day, like, we had bought so many gift cards, and it was just like amazing the amount of support that we had.
Dope.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's from the people that the news will never put in their stories. Like, they will never put us being the good guys.
Yeah.
Like, they just can't. It won't make a good news story.
They don't even fucking ever
won't.
really put out good news in general.
No,
and
they
that
don't.
bothers the fuck out of me. Why?
they definitely
Hey,
don't.
do me a favor, some corporate big Babylon motherfucker. Why don't you start a news channel that's good news? Just give me some good news. I'm not singing the blues. Want to feel the sunshine and fucking remember a time when there was good news. Because it's sad, bro. I work with these clients all the time. I'll be in their house and it's fucking just the news is on and I'm in there working and I'm just like, want to wear earmuffs because it's fucking just making me want to jump off of a building.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's fucked, man. We manja, give us more. So to be a positive light, to be a positive energy and influence, Brian, you're doing a fucking phenomenal job. So I applaud you for that. Tony, never part-time. You're doing the same fucking thing. I like to believe that I'm doing the same thing. Drop a comment, hit the subscribe button. Let me know you feel the same way. Man, it's just so great to be here
Hood Eats.
in this moment.
Yeah, we brought
With
it up
you.
like 3 times. I guess I haven't even
We
talked
need to talk about Hood
But
Eats.
before we do
because
that, if you don't have a tea in your hand, fucking let's do a little cheers. If you're driving to work right now, think about this. It could be worse. Always. And with that being said, hold on, Tone.
Sorry. I've had it.
Remember to be appreciative and thankful for the little motherfucking things. Okay? First of all, you got a job. First of all, you're driving your car. If you're getting the bus or taking a fucking ride from a friend, you got both of those things. If you're walking, thank God you're able to walk. So be thankful and appreciative for the little things. Reflect right now. If you're beefing with somebody or your energy's all fucked up, check yourself before thys wrecks yourselves. Think about that. So if you're driving to work right now, I want you to have a phenomenal motherfucking day. Hood Eats. I know Tony's fucking dying to talk about it because we have 2 foodies in the building. I don't know if you know this, but full-time, never part-time Tony is culture and cannabis because Tony likes to smoke a lot. He's a complete fucking pothead and connoisseur of smoking trees. And he's also culture is food. And I've done an episode of that. It's the dopest episode you ever saw. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and peek that. We also have Brian636 who does Hood Eats, who travels through these different neighborhoods. And it's called Hood Eats because he goes to parts of the cities that Brian shouldn't probably fucking go to. And he does food reviews. So 2 foodies right here. It's great. Personally, I love food. Fucking all of it. Let's eat. Hood Eats.
So my first question is, are you a Twisted Tea guy?
Man. To be honest, man, I really will.
For sponsorship possibilities, Brian636 fucking cosigns and loves.
I'll drink about anything, to be honest.
I've noticed in the scene that a lot of cats drink Twisted Teas, and I didn't understand the...
Danny Legacy, my friend that I lost,
Yeah.
who I'm repping shin blasters for, swore by Twisted Teas. One time I watched him in the parking lot at the ski resort because he was a phenomenal snowboarder. I watched him, the tall ones that you've seen me chug?
Yeah.
I watched him shotgun, 4 back to back tall guys at Twisted Tea. So Twisted Tea for me is not only like, do I think it's pretty good? Sure. Are there certain things about it that I don't really like? Sure. But Twisted Tea is fucking the dopeness juice, man. You know what I'm saying? You like Twisted Tea?
Well, I just see, even like on Instagram, I see a bunch of other cats that ride like that. They fuck with Twisted Tea. Like it's like a synonymous thing between like stunt riders.
They follow me. I don't know.
I just
Twisted Tea official follows you?
Yeah.
Sick.
dude. Yeah, well, shout out Twisted Tea.
We're
We're trying to get a sponsorship on this podcast.
I don't know. I'll drink about anything. I mean, I really will. I'm not partial to one or the other, and I just try to keep it to like 1 to 2 times a week drinking because like I think if you drink every day, it'll start to consume you. So
Facts.
I just try to keep it max like 2 times a week.
Smart.
So, yeah.
I guess yeah. And so Hood Eats though. So Reno.
Time out before we go to Hood Eats. By the way, we're back live.
Yeah.
We've been live since I walked in.
Yeah, we've been live the whole time since you left.
Well, I don't know if
think
I'm comfortable with me not being here.
Well, I asked him a pretty good question.
We might have to cut that, but maybe we won't because sometimes it's good to be missed. Sometimes it's okay not to be there in the moment. But I finally want to get onto it. So let's move along. And Hood Eats.
So you did one in Reno.
I did one in Reno.
Where'd you go?
I went to Juicy's. It was downtown on 300 South Wells Street is the address.
Yeah, I know exactly which one.
Yep.
Who did you find that by yourself, or did Joe recommend it?
Joe did not recommend it. Nick Moda recommended it, and then somebody messaged me it, like one of the Reno locals had mentioned it. Because whenever I post up where I'm going somewhere, that's immediately, even if I don't have any intention of doing one of my series there, that's immediately what they start suggesting is that. And then the final needle was the bar owner recommending Juicy's as well.
Polo Lounge, Nick.
Polo Lounge.
You saw Nick the day. Oh, that's the day before.
Day before,
The day
him
of.
and I both went there, and we had a we had a quick slurk, quick beer and shot before he went on his hoodies, which is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a good burger. It was definitely good. I mean, yeah, I couldn't. For the life of me, though, man, like I couldn't find the hood. I mean, there was some homeless people at the park.
It's not really a hood.
When I looked at y'all's crime stats,
Okay, so you know where we just
stopped
stopped at 7-Eleven to get the teas? Off Audi, like, and it's not a hood, but dude, yo, you definitely get checked. Like, there's definitely, like, I will say that I know cats in this town that do not fuck around.
Facts.
They do not fuck around. There's an open carry law here, so a lot of motherfuckers are strapped. It's also not very difficult to get it concealed in Nevada, and gun shows come through here where you can literally go in and buy buku. You can walk out with, you can have motherfuckers like 10 people carrying all your guns for you.
Yeah.
If you got the dough and you're ready to roll and you're ready to go, Reno and Nevada are very, very easy places to get your hands on guns.
background checks.
Very little.
Very minimal. Like, dude, I know cats that are like, yeah, it's when gun show, dude. And check this thing out, man. It's a Tommy gun. And I'm like, dude, how in the fuck are you going to the gun show down there and buying that? Like, nobody should be selling you a gun. Not even a little fucking little 22 or something. Nobody should let you buy a gun. So in that regard, it's a little, I'm not a big fan of it, honestly, how easy it is to get a gun here. So what I'm saying, though, is Reno is not ghetto. It's not hood.
Yeah, I guess the only...
But there are some spots that you don't want to be
Yeah,
at.
I guess the only spot I would have said that you could have been a little bit more hood would have been 4th Street.
That's where you went. Or no, you were going to go.
No, you went to Wells, and like that's second best.
You were going to go to Big Ed's for breakfast.
There's a couple spots on 4th Streets that are hoodies for sure. There's Lucille's halfway house. You know about
How many
that?
hoodies have you done?
That was episode 52.
Shit.
Yeah, it's insane. We've done them. I've done them in 3 or 4 different countries, a lot of different states, but it's definitely primarily around Chicago. I feel like Chicago's food and history is like those restaurants there, like those tell more than just what type of food it is. Like it's not just an Italian pizza place.
Culture.
This was a neighborhood that Italian immigrants migrated to, like hundreds of years ago, and this one stayed for this reasons as it turned over from Italian to Hispanic or Hispanic to African American or whatever. And so those restaurants and like the stories behind the neighborhoods, like they really resonate and they tell a lot more than just I'm eating a piece of pizza. Like no.
You got a top 5 hood eats?
I do. Yeah, I definitely have. I actually, for episode 50, I named my favorite spot and I hosted a group ride, which was shout out to all the subscribers that came because that was one of the coolest things ever. Like I had only announced it really on YouTube that I'm going to host this meetup at this time and this date, and I'm going to name my favorite food spot in Chicago, and we're going to do a group ride there. And it was Lem's Barbecue on 75th Street.
Sick.
It's a family-owned, 3rd generation barbecue spot. Makes sauce in-house. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
What are you eating there?
At Lem's?
Yeah. Like what's your order?
I think their rib tips. Their rib tips was just insane. I know they've won a bunch of awards.
Yeah.
And I've eaten at a lot of places that have a bunch of awards. And to name Lem's was it was hard because man, there's so many good restaurants that like stood out to me over the period of time. And there's so many good stories that have gone along. Like the guy that served me my first Polish, I was gonna name it Maxwell Street Polish on Harrison and Independence, but right after Hood Eats episode 50, the guy that served me the first Polish had just got shot in the face and died like a week after that because a guy
I want you to move from Chicago.
a guy went to the restaurant and shot him in the dome at like 3 a.m. So and Cameron Lem's Barbecue, who he owns Lem's, invited me to come out there for like episode 18, and in between 18 and 50, Cameron got shot like 3 times. The guy who owns Lem's Barbecue.
Being robbed?
No, he was in Bronzeville, and I think it was a case of mistaken identity, if I'm right. He was getting out of his car and just got shot three times, I think. one or two hit him in the legs, and
man.
he was out for a while. So I was in between a couple of them, and those were the two. And just randomly, those are two guys that owned restaurants that both one had shot and killed, one had just been shot. And Cameron made the full recovery and everything like that in between episode 18 and 50. That happened like right after episode 18. So
I have to go to Chicago in like 3 weeks, so I'm a little nervous now. But
no, it's definitely,
Don't
bro.
be.
It's a huge city.
Yeah, no.
It's a huge city, and you definitely, if you have, all I can say is trust your gut. You know what I mean? If it's even a little bit, I can't even say the evening anymore. Like if you're getting a weird feeling, which I have gotten multiple times before shit has went down.
yeah.
I know that feeling.
You can sometimes dodge it, man. Like
the
if
fuck
you
out of
trust
there.
your gut,
Yeah.
trust your gut for real.
Yeah.
Like with Seabear, me and that guy from Canada that went to Sturgis, that guy had just asked like, is things like bad over here or whatever when we were eating. I was like, yeah, a little bit. I think his name's Sid from Canada. He was chilling with the East Coasting guys.
No, that's Sid the Kid.
Yeah, Sid the Kid. Yeah,
Solid,
he's
dude.
cool as people. He was like, is this bad
he's
over
clicked,
here?
He's clicked up with East Coast, and he lives out there with those buddies.
And then like 2 minutes later, we're riding away from the restaurant, and dude laid out in the middle of Fifth Avenue in Pulaski, shot in the neck.
Jeez,
And yeah,
dude.
they were like, holy fuck.
So me coming to lean back in Chiraq, thank God for the pack mentality, because, dude, honestly, if you were like, hey Joe, I think you're great. I want you to fly out to Chicago and do my podcast, and we went. And you had a bike for me, and we went around and did shit. Yo, your boy's been to the roughest of the roughest neighborhoods, and typically I do. I have a way and a knack for getting along with everybody, like straight up. Doesn't matter ethnicity, doesn't matter the spot, doesn't matter the city. Typically, I'm good to go. Almost 10 times out of 10. But that weird feeling you speak of, man, it has happened to me, and it is fucking extremely uncomfortable. So there is no way that I could go around the way that he does in the neighborhoods that he goes to at the times of day and night that he goes to. And man, that's just, be careful, fucking Brian. Jesus.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I trust my gut, man. I definitely.
You know when to fucking skedaddle.
Yeah. I feel like I do, but you know what, man? I mean, I truly believe that 9 out of 10 of those shootings are beyond avoidable. And a lot of the times they do stem from social media beef, which is even more stupid.
Too much communication.
It's just
Wild.
stupid. It is so stupid.
Wild.
And the ethics of these guys that are actually doing the shooting, the guys have only gotten younger, and the ethics have only gone more out the window. You know, like they don't care if it's women, children, whatever. And these are 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids that think that they can fucking hit restart on the video game, and it's not like that. And
Holy fuck.
a lot of we have a real bad carjacking problem, and the carjackings go hand in hand with the drive-bys and everything like that. And a lot of the times these kids they are so fucking young, and they know that they're not going to get any time in the criminal justice system, so they're going to keep doing it, and it is what it is, man. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Like you grow up there.
Does it make you sad, Brian? Obviously.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
gotta,
Oh my God.
Because you're a big-hearted motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I feel, bro, when these kids come up to me, no matter what side of the city I'm on, west side, south side, east side, whatever, and the amount of joy that a wheelie brings them tells me more than just these kids like wheelies. It's like, man, this kid hasn't seen anything good out here in a long fucking time, you know? So you let them fill up your bike, and some of them come back. I've actually met over the course of years now, like there's kids that I had met on some of these vlogs and the episodes like years ago that are growing up into like teenagers now, and like some of them I worry about, you know? Like I saw a pack of them out with like bicycles the other day, and like they're all wearing shiesty masks, you know? And I'm like, man, dude, fuck. And the one pulled his shit down, you know, come by our shop and, hey, Brian, what's up? You remember me? I'm like, yeah. And these kids were definitely up to no good. I'm like, be safe out here, man. Like, what else can you say? You know? Everyone's a product of their environment.
I will say, though, Brian, I think that you have the capability of having an impact and maybe, you know, voice that. And I'm sure that you do, and I know that you do. I know you can't save everybody, especially people who are a product of their environment who don't want to be saved or can be saved or you know. But I think that you're a bright light in a dark place sometimes, man. And keep shining.
Yeah, it's a harder issue than just one person. It's a harder issue than one thing. It's an issue that is so like ingrained in like some of these cities, man. And it's not just Chicago, but
Yeah.
Chicago is definitely the one that stands out to me as like a segregated city, a city that like you born in the wrong neighborhood, man, your chances are almost nothing. Like you're not leaving. Like just today at the shop, I just got the ring alert because, you know, the rings at the shop or whatever, our cameras. The 4 kids got shot leaving school. The school right across the street from our shop. Like these are teenage kids just walking home from school. And the helicopter, like they get a fucking 15, 20-second blip it on the news now. These things used to be
I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Stories.
Chicago's kind of fucking pissing me off right now.
Yeah, but it's so much bigger than that, and that's why I go to those neighborhoods. And like, there's so many good people in those neighborhoods, and there's so many people that are just stuck in this like, they're thriving, they're doing great, they're happy, but they're also kind of like in survival mode. You know, some of them are suffering from PTSD, for real.
My thing is though, is like I said, you know, whether it's you, I know you single-handedly, you're not just going to wish everything better or do anything that's going to impact it that much. But being a light inspires other people to be a light. And together, those lights have a light. And if darkness needs light, the oppo of dark is light. And so don't ever get it twisted. And don't forget that your impact that you're having is probably way more impactful and powerful than you even fucking give yourself credit for or understand. So I know that Elijah, I know that Tipping Back, I know that some of these cats that are around you are doing the same fucking thing in that regard, that they're being kind to people. They're, you know, they're doing it in different ways, but you are collectively, that team is shining a light. And dude, fucking I applaud that. I really do. I really fucking do. Keep shining, my boy. Keep fucking shining. Now, whoa. We're going to crawl out of that a little bit because Joe Positive needs a little bit of a fucking like restart because I'm fired up right now in a way that's like, I just wish we could do better. And I think that's why I touched on it, that America is one of the dopest, but it's also one of the fucking most fucked up. Brian, dude, you're insane. And Burning Man is right now. Do you want to just stay and go?
To Burning Man?
Yeah. Do you want to go Burning Man?
I kind of want to go for one day.
Let's say I had 2 tickets right now in my pocket and I got a week off work and I had a sick rig and I was like, let's go. Would you just cancel your flight and go with me?
I'd call the shop, make sure everything's cool, and trying to think if I got anything going on. Man, you're putting me on the spot. I got shows up in Milwaukee this next week, so I got to be up there on Friday. As long as I'm back by Friday, I'm sure we can make it work.
I don't, dude.
See this? That's my wings. See this? You know why I have wings?
You're a duck?
Because I'm a duck. I will never, ever, ever be a fucking turkey either. And I'm not an eagle neither. Okay?
Or a platypus.
Or no Joe Platt. If anything, if I wasn't a motherfucking duck with all my other fucking mallards, I would be a hawk. 100%. What's your spirit animal, Brian?
I don't know.
Like, let's say we get reincarnated.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when he says that?
What is an animal that, like, you can't help but see, and it's like this weird little vibe thing that you have? It could be in the ocean. It could be a what?
Coyote.
Coyote.
Yeah, that's sick. Okay. In the dog world, I'd look at you more like a fucking wolf, like a black one with a white eye and a brown eye. But coyotes are cool. Why do you think the coyote is like that animal for you, my guy?
I don't know. Like they just cease to not exist. Like wolves are going extinct. Coyotes are like, they won't die. They're fucking going. Yeah. They're gonna eat, bro. They don't care. They're like, there's no food. There's no nothing. That coyote's gonna eat. They'll eat your fucking chihuahua. They'll eat your half-eaten Snickers. He's gonna eat. So I guess a coyote. I don't know.
Coyote. I kind of like it.
I don't know. Yeah.
No,
that's a weird answer, but
no, I don't think it's weird at all.
I don't know. They're gonna survive.
That's fucking amazing.
Wolves are going extinct, right? I don't sound like an idiot saying that. I'm pretty sure they are.
No, 100%.
But
they're actually moving into Nevada now. So are mooses.
Majority of animals are going extinct.
Which is fucking wild.
There's coyotes in like inner cities though, man.
Yeah,
like, there's packs of
crawling
coyotes.
Out of fucking manholes and stuff.
Yeah. There's a pack of them that stay in a park on the west side. Yeah, they will not leave. Or a raccoon.
I got something for you, my coyote. Handbrakes on Harleys. Thoughts?
I mean, obviously, I think I was the only guy at the brawl this year with a handbrake.
Yeah.
I was one of 2 the year before. I think I was one of 3 the year before. Like it is a thing that by public opinion, every time I'm asked that question, I already know what the person wants me to say.
Do you think you know what I want you to say?
I personally think if you have 5 brakes on your bike, 50 brakes on your bike, and you can do a backflip, guess what the new standard of the sport is? Everyone better fucking get 50 brakes and start doing backflips, or else you're going to become extinct. That's what I think. Like when Travis Pastrana did the double backflip for FMX, like they didn't say, "Oh shit, he had these bars on it or whatever," and blah 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 blah, and that doesn't count because he was on a 250 and blah 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 blah. No, that's the new expectation for people to learn.
Yeah.
You fucking learn it. So if somebody's doing something on a bike and everyone else isn't, I don't think anything else should really come into play. I think guys like Bill Dixon, I don't even know if you know who he is. We'll always go. He was one of the only factory Yamaha stunt riders. Will always go down as like somebody insane to me. He's doing no-handed stoppies, but he had brakes on a subframe. Okay. But he was one of the only factory Yamaha stunt riders. Because Yamaha recognizes that.
Brakes on
they recognize that. So I think if somebody can do something, if a bagger needs a handbrake, but that dude can do circles or can do tank tricks, guess what the new standard for all your baggers are? Or guess if a guy on a Sporty can do a stoppie, guess what the new standard for Sporties is? Because there's no way our sport's gonna progress with a mentality of shaming tricks that are more advanced than the one that you can do
by simply applying a handbrake.
That's not anybody who's a handbrake guy. I don't care if you're Seabear, B-Rup, Bruce, anyone who came from Sit Down Steve, Kenny, all these guys came from sport bikes, and absolutely none of them will say anything about a handbrake because they understand what it does, which is almost nothing. Almost nothing. Yeah. All it does, it doesn't give you a secret.
It elevates your tricks.
Yeah. It elevates you a little bit. It's not a secret thing that lets it. It's not like training wheels. It's
big boy shit.
It is. Yeah.
I think it's a different classification. I think that there's 2 different styles of it. Like your style is Sturgis, my boy. No motherfucker is doing what you're doing. It's a different style. It's a different classification. Now, with that being said, both of them I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah, same.
Both of them.
Same.
Both of them. Now, with that being said, some of the dudes that are some of the top dogs in the non-handbrake side of things could put a handbrake on their bike tomorrow, and they want to be able to do what you're doing.
Like, I would love to see fucking Sal or Reckless
Could you imagine?
Have a handbrake, and
let's break the stigma.
Yeah. I'd love to see that. I mean, there's definitely a stigma. I understand that I'm not the oldest cat in the Harley game. I've only been on Harleys for about 5 years.
Dope as fuck, though, that you're on one. Appreciate you for that.
Yeah, no,
Harley
I think
loves you.
every side of bike life is amazing. I don't care if you're a mini guy, supermoto guy, whatever. And if you talk shit on another side of bike life, it's just because you're uncultured. It's because you don't understand it. So you old Harley guy riding that Harley, don't talk shit on those dirt bike guys riding in a pack. They don't understand you, and you don't understand their side, but they're both fun. But yeah, I would love to see guys like that progress not progress, but advance in a unseen level.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to see Reckless 203 doing fucking high chair coaster on the fucking highway and scraping it.
He could totally do.
He could.
But it's that stigma that's holding it back.
But it's a stigma around it. But talk about blowing people's fucking minds. I would love it.
Gosh, this is powerful right now.
Yeah, I would love it.
This is powerful. A lot of the dudes will do bike swap, right? So, like, you'll be on a Dyna, and then they'll toss the Dyna to the side, and they'll jump on their bagger, which is sick. Now, with that being said, and this is something that I challenge you to do. I'm going to challenge Brian636 right now because that's what we do. We pick our people up. We hold them up to a high standard, and we always are challenging and pushing them to do and be better. So, I challenge you, my boy. It'd be sick as fuck, that same pass off from Dyna to bagger. It'd be sick to see no handbrake to handbrake pass off. Like, let's say that you had your same bike, which you ride a Roadster, correct?
Yeah, if I just took out the screw of the handbrake.
So let's say you have 2 of them, and one of them is set up more of that Renegade Harley, no handbrake, fucking style. And then you have that other one that is just like full control, tricks that nobody's doing. and fucking swag on another fucking level. It's two different worlds. So
They are,
I think that a pass off like that, especially with a guy like yourself, could get you that podium spot. Because what that would do is break the stigma and show if you really got the skills to pay the bills as a stunt rider, you can ride with no handbrake and throw the fuck down. But when you throw a handbrake on it, you're next level, baby. You're on another fucking planet.
Right.
That's a challenge. Do you accept? Yes or no?
Could I just take my handbrake off on the same bike?
Mid-show?
Mid-show.
Or like handbrake one show, second run, no?
It's as easy as pulling
the
a
thing.
one screw.
As long as
One
Max,
screw.
and shout out to Max with Ride and Destroy, as long as Max or whoever's announcing or like whatever's going on, people understand that.
No, you just put the handbrake right on the judge's table mid-run.
Oh, facts. That's sick. All right. Challenge accepted, yes or no?
Because no, I definitely
Are you
hear
going
it.
to Durango?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's the same weekend as the rally up in Milwaukee.
Facts. You
Yeah.
got shows.
Yeah.
We're getting paid out here.
No, I definitely have heard it every year I've competed there. It goes over the loudspeaker multiple times. He's working the handbrake. There's a handbrake. There's a handbrake.
And you're the
and
only
it's
one.
like it's fucking crazy because it's like it's just one master. I don't know. I respect no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Obviously, I'm the minority there. There's no doubt about it. Of the 20 guys, I was the one that has it. So I understand their side of things and their culture, just like I understand the dirt bike guys that don't want to put a handbrake on their supermoto, because I can relate to that too. I got it.
What's sick about you though is I've watched your foot controls. I've watched your brake foot control, and my boy, it's not that you need a handbrake. It's that it just opens up a whole different playbook of tricks and sick shit.
Yeah, you saw me on a stock 636, and now you're about to see me tonight on a stunted one. The stock one, I can still have that same stuff, whatever. But
We got a hood ride going on tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nut.
It's fun, man. But
Fuck.
it's just a different tool. You're comparing a flathead to a Phillips screwdriver.
Yep.
It's a tool.
I'm so glad we talked about that. I honestly didn't know if I was gonna bring that up or not, and I am so fucking thankful that we did.
Yeah. Stigma.
So fucking
Stigma around it for sure.
Yeah, big controversy.
Tony's like, wait, what's a handbrake?
No, I know what a handbrake is.
Okay, cool.
I didn't realize there'd be a controversy over it though.
Let me ask you a question. Never seen you on a bagger. That would be incredible. And I have another question for you. There's
I've rode
only
a
three
couple.
dudes from my understanding, three dudes in the world that have done a dub hand drag on a bagger, and it's Low Life, and it is Dom 829, and it is HD Stretch, and I love all three of you guys. But truthfully, truth be told, I think if you were to jump on a bagger, like a dialed in one, and you were to fucking put some time in on it for 6 months at the lot, do you think you could dub hand drag?
No, I give all the respect to those guys. No.
Does that shake you up a little bit,
those-
Uncle Tony, and explain to you how fucking gnarly it is that those boys are doing it?
Yeah.
And Dom 829 was here. He's met Dom. Dom sat in that
Yeah.
song.
I know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, man, like, give respect where it's due. Like,
Facts.
I personally just, like, I don't think that's in my deck of cards to do. It's just not.
It's wild to watch.
Dude, it's fucked up. First of all, watching a bagger do a wheelie. There's a video that keeps going on. It's like this lady, and she's like, "Who's that guy that was doing the wheelie on the fucking bagger?" And she sounds super from the east, and it's because, dude, the first time I saw it, I was like, "What?" And when I show, like, my father-in-law is huge into Harleys. He's a big bagger guy, and all of his homies, and like, dude, obviously I show off my other side of my double life to them, and when I first started showing them, dude, they couldn't even fucking comprehend it. They didn't even understand. So I appreciate the fact that you say that.
It's
So
so
I got-
important for
I
those
got-
guys to do it, though, man. Like, I think it's so important that what Harley's doing for us now with the brawl and everything, like, it could not be more important to get, like, you're seeing it as, like, okay, there's a bagger in front of them. I'm seeing it as, this is getting stunt riding in front of a generation that hasn't understood us from the get-go, and they're finally understanding us. They're finally seeing things done that impress them on their own bikes, and it would never relate. It's the same reason that we start every stunt show at a Harley dealership with our Kawasaki's and end it with the Harleys, to show that same amount of talent is there no matter what bike you're on. And if somebody has to do it on a bagger fully dressed or a road glide or a fucking gold wing. It doesn't matter. Like for somebody that has been on this side of the fence of saying that's reckless, that's stupid, that's blah, 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 to go to this side of the fence and say that's talent, that's huge. I don't care what it takes.
Facts.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Facts.
Yep.
So we're gonna get you on a bagger. Challenge number 2 accepted.
I mean, I'll ride one. I don't know. If
Is anybody gonna give my boy the fucking pass off? Just pull up next to him at a ride. one of you fuckers that has one of the super dial ones, and just let Brian just shred that thing around. Think about seeing Brian636 on a ride or fucking shredding around in the lot on a bagger. That'd be the coolest fucking thing ever. By the way, my Dyna is up for grabs tonight. If you want to just do a little Bernie on her, or you want to do a little, I got you, my boy. I got you.
Shout out Seabury and Joe. They've let me do that before. They've let me jump on their baggers. I've jumped on, I think three or four of them. I've jumped on quite a few. Yeah, I've jumped on quite a few, and they're awesome.
No footage. We record everything.
Seabury's got it. Seabury's got it. Joe's got it.
Drop the vid.
Some of those guys got it. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. First one to send me a video of Brian636 doing a wheelie is going to get an extra back crack because you know that Joe chiropractor.
I think it was 2019, both of you guys. I was in the lot.
But Lard knows that we're trying to scrape these pennies together to make a fire to burn fucking hot enough to keep this train rolling.
Yeah.
I like your hat, Brian.
Thank you, buddy.
What does Scrape City mean to you?
Oh man, here's you open up a can of worms. That meant
Mix them up, fucking eat them.
It meant the world to me. Like especially back in the day, I remember when me and Elijah would go. Elijah and my brother used to live out in Arizona, and Beat the Heat was to us what Doomsday and Lean Back is. You know, it's their hometown big stunt ride. And finally went there, and I just learned like how to scrape, and I knew Scrape City was a thing with the sick riders and blah 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 blah. 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, 2017. And I just hit like a long ass scrape, and one of the sick riders came up next to me and handed me like a Scrape City sticker. And back then, like that was like on the ride, they would pass it off to somebody like that they like fucked with. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you're killing this stuff. That like was a thing. I don't even think there was no online store. There was nothing. It was if you were giving a sick rider shirt or a Scrape City sticker, it was like you earned it. So yeah, that meant a lot. Dope. I just randomly picked up this hat from Joe's house. I mean, he just randomly brought up that story. Shout out to Austin from Sick Riders. I think he was the one that gave me the sticker. He's a super humble guy.
Shout out to B-Rep.
Yeah, B-Rep.
Kevin.
All these guys, man. They're all good people. Sasan, Joe, all the Sick Riders. They're all cool people, man.
Sick Riders is
Alex.
sick as fuck.
Yeah, Alex. Scotty just called me. So he's coming tomorrow.
What?
Yeah.
Scotty Smash is coming to Reno?
Yeah.
What, Scotty? Scotty doesn't know that you're gonna be doing it every Thursday. Sorry, dude, that's amazing. Scotty's coming?
Yeah.
Sup, Scott? That's fucking awesome. B-Rep, I bought that hat off him because that's what I do. I support my friends' brands. Yeah. If you look and pay attention closely, like Shreddy Life, obviously, huge shout out Shreddy Life. They take care of me. They make me feel fresh and look good. They hook me the fuck up with merch, and it's an incredible feeling. My dad always told me, if you look good, you play good. But a lot of my friends have brands, and there's nothing better than rocking that shit and representing that shit, and helping them succeed. So I say that because I paid for that hat because he tried to give it to me, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I want to be a contributor.
Yeah.
I haven't worn that hat. Do you want to know why? Because I've never been to Scrape City. My friend, rest in paradise forever. Love you so fucking much, my boy. Shooby dooba doo bop. Passed away from a freak accident, and he had a Sporty, and then he got a Dyna, and both anniversary dishes, and all he wanted to do was go out with Jay Brew and learn how to stunt, and all his one goal in life was to go to Scrape City. He just wanted to sail her back, dude, on that titanium scrape plate, and scrape. And his, gone too soon. Good die young. And so it's an emotional fucking thing for me because I now took that goal of his and I took it and it's in my life. And guys like Joey Wells will call me out. It's like, yo, why haven't you gone to Scrape City for your friend yet? And I'm like, motherfucker. And I want to whoop Joey's ass. Fuck you, Joey. But he's got a point, and the reason why is because, for one, you know, your bike's got to be set up and it's got to be dialed, and it's got to be it's expensive. Just having a bike to ride, let alone stunt, is challenging for me. And so I cut my fender, chopped it, lopped it, and B-Rup gave me a Scrape City plate that said 4 Shub on it for my boy. And so, like, that brand, like that's just, you know, in the scheme of things, the amount of people that go to Scrape City, it might seem like there's a lot of guys that sail it back and scrape plate. But dude, I ride my Harley every fucking day. I don't practice stunt riding every day because I'm not Joe Stunts a lot. I'm Joe Stunts sorta. But dude, it takes a dude, it's fucked. It's fucked. To go to Scrape City is a big fucking deal. It is, and I take it very seriously. And to see you rocking the Scrape City hat, that was fucking dangling there, because I feel like I need to earn it. Just like you earned that fucking sticker, like you said, from Sick Riders. He pulled up on you, watched you do that scrape all the way down the highway, pulled up on you and said, "Here, my boy, I haven't earned that hat yet. I'm gonna." Do you believe in me?
Oh, yeah.
You've watched me ride a little bit.
I have, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see you progress, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. First of all, real quick, Tony, do you like it when people call you buddy? Like you're paying for food somewhere or something, and somebody's like bud or like buddy or fucking guy, or
If it's my friend, then I don't mind. But if it's
the
someone
buddy he just made me fucking cry inside, but
oh yeah,
in a good way.
But sometimes if someone's like if you don't know them, they're like bud.
Yeah, that could
Yeah.
be worse than the
Oh,
curse
dude,
word.
yeah.
That's worse than calling you a bitch.
Pal.
Hey, pal. What's
Yeah,
up?
buddy?
But
Right.
me and Joe call each other pal, and I mean in an endearing way, or like, hey buddy, like what's up, bro?
What's up, Bubba?
Yeah. So,
Bubba?
but yeah.
We've reached a point in the Onasickone podcast, the Joe Show, where it's just one of those things that means a lot to me, and I just want to know, Brian, do you have any questions for me or Tony? Or fuck it, do you have any questions for my boy Jay Lightstyle Studios? Do you have any questions while you're here and now? And real quick, I am soaking this moment up so much, man. Thank you, my boy. Thank you for being here, dog. It's a fucking honor. Straight the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm here for you guys, and I guess my question is, how do you two, what is your two's vision in the long term? Maybe like give me a 1 year, a 5 year, and a 10 year on where you guys see the podcast and yourselves personally. Yeah.
Fire ass question. Fire question. Go ahead, my boy. You go first.
I guess in the 1 year, just kind of double down on this in the comedy shows. Probably, full sponsors. Maybe trying to do this twice a month. And then comedy shows, just getting those bigger, better, bigger names. 5 years, I expect Joe to be doing this full time, and then me help manage this comedy stuff, and then some of the stunt writing stuff, mainly more on the back end side. This is just me personally. That's how I see it going. And then 10 years, the goal is to make Joe the biggest MC in the scene.
In the scene of what?
Of action sports in general, not just stunt riding. Stunt riding is just the entryway. Right.
It's the portal.
Yeah, the portal.
Sheesh. I would say my goal is to show my kids and prove to myself and my friends and my wife that you get what you give is an extremely real thing. And if you try and you work at it and you get up and you get out and you get up and you get active and you go out there and be yourself, because if you're being yourself, you're being somebody, that you can accomplish crazy shit. My goal is to prove myself right in my belief in myself, and to have my wife proud of me, my kids looking up to me, and my friends inspired by me. And then Tony and I cheersing and being somewhere sick as fuck and just being like, thanks for believing in me. And then him being like, thanks for believing in me. And then we just fucking get fucked up. No, just kidding. We just have a good time. So 1 year from now, my goal is to do this show twice a month. 1 year from now, my goal is to do show in front of 1,000 people. I want to do a comedy show in front of 1,000 people is my goal. I will MC anything. I can't MC everything, but I will MC anything. Quinceañeras, wedding receptions, Harley stunt shows, bands, fucking roasts, fucking whatever you need. I'm your guy. Hit me up. I love you, and you don't even know me yet. And I love you, and I appreciate you. Running down the dream. I think Tom Petty said it best. Running down a dream. No one come to me. Fucking working on a mystery. Don't give up on yourself. Believe. Work. Try. Obviously, it's paying off for my boy and people around me. Them believing in me inspires me to be better and gives me the faith. And you obviously fucking putting your faith and love and fucking energy into my situation is fucking fire. And it didn't come easy. When I first met Tony 5 years ago, before I even really did anything, Tony was like, yeah, bud, fucking let me know when you fucking do something. But it was dope. It inspired me to go out there and fucking, to be something. And then now here we are working together. So really phenomenal question, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Fuck, man. Are you ready to hit some motherfucking streets in the No Town 77 Filthy?
I'm ready.
I said, are you ready to hit some motherfucking streets in the No Town 77 Filthy?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
I got one more thing for you, my boy. And then we're going to wrap this motherfucker up like a blunt. We're going to put it up to a lighter. We're going to torch him. We're going to smoke that motherfucker till it's gone. And I'm going to Wu-Tang it and fucking eat it.
I got to piss so bad, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Fucking hold it, my boy.
Okay.
Hold it, my boy. Would you recommend somebody to come out here and see Joe?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any
There's
special,
nothing else I got to say.
Is there any thank yous you want to give? Not to me, but any thank yous since you've been in Reno that you want to shout out real fast? Any Brian636 shout outs before we wrap this motherfucker up?
Yeah. Shout out J Brew, Tall Boy, for leading that ride. You guys did a killer job. I don't know who's leading the ride tonight, but hopefully you don't fucking get us blocked in by a helicopter and 1,000 motorcycle cops. Shout out my guy Joe. Shout out Ralph for passing me off the 0304-636. That stock unit, really special. Definitely getting rare. Nick Moto, just leading us, driving us home last night, just looking out. I think he's a good dude. I think he's got your best interest in mind, bro. Yeah, just shout out to everybody that ever believed in any of this dumb shit. Right?
What about my significant other?
Yeah, your wife's amazing.
I'm sorry.
I
gotta give her some love.
Oh yeah, she is.
She speaks very highly of you, and that's sick as fuck. And most of the time she does with the boys and with people that travel out here. But it's insane, dude. She is allowing me to house the homies. She's like, does Brian like coffee and eggs? Cause or does he want a bagel? Like he's in there sleeping, and he's like, yeah. I usually sleep, when I'm out on trips like this. Like I sleep till like 9 or 10 for sure. Like I want to get some Z's, which is understandable as fuck. But she was like, he's gonna wake up soon. Like, do you think he wants like some eggs and some coffee or like some bagel and coffee? And I just think that's great. I think that's great. Love you, babe. Thank you. Let's keep this roller coaster cruising, honey. Brian. Honestly, dude, episode 8 of the Onasickone podcast, your presence, being here, blessing these streets, blessing up the homies with your presence, coming to my comedy show, going to Truckee Bike Night, fucking being a good fucking friend to me, dude. And I'm just a little misguided. And I think we are together. We know you are. And so, Brian, thank you for being on episode 8 of the Onasickone podcast.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Last thing.
Yeah.
You got somebody that you don't know asking you for some sort of piece of advice. What do you say?
It's too vague. I don't know what piece of advice you're asking me. What do you mean?
Life advice.
Oh, life advice? I've always been huge on it sounds so cliche and so stupid and so fucking,
Whatever, run
just,
it.
Man, whatever. Just don't quit. There's so many people that just like
stop.
You go down on your bike doing something, you don't do it again, or you drop out of buds or recon or sniper school or whatever the fuck, and then you don't go back, and then or you get hurt doing something, and then you just never do it again. So just don't quit. I know it sounds easy, but man, or if you're suffering with any type of mental health or anything, just don't quit, man. Just keep going. so easy to say, but just one foot in front of the other. Just keep going.
Love that so much. Sorry.
Any closing statement, my boy, full-time Tony? Brian, that was beautiful.
Brian, thank you so much for coming, man. It's been such a pleasure meeting you and hanging out with you, and I'm really excited about this episode. Always proud of you, my boy.
Thank you.
Shout out Lifestyle Studios. That's all I got.
Episode of the Onasickone podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, drop a comment. Let us know how we did, whether it's good or bad. Criticism is definitely fucking appreciated. Brian636, thank you so
sir.
much for coming out here, my boy.
Hey, subscribe to them. Subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah, if you're new
Can I
here,
ask you,
come
can I
on.
put you on the spot? One last thing, and then we're going to fucking completely tidy this thing up. On Instagram, will you do a co-post with me as friends for one of the promo videos for this podcast?
Yes.
Let's go.
Motherfucker. Episode 8, Onasickone podcast. Thank you guys. Peace. Be safe. Remember, get up, get out, go outside, and be yourself. And if you're being self, you're being somebody. Peace and love. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.